Welcome to Growing Bremerton Together with Mayor Patty Lent. I'm going to be on location today at the Opal Roberts Teen Center on 7th and Park. My two guests are Bishop Larry Robertson and Clarence Nelson, new director of New Life. Stay with me. Welcome to Growing Bremerton Together with Mayor Patty Lent. We're on location today at the Opal Teen Center, and we're in a room called Cafe Connect. I have a very special guest with me. It's Bishop Lawrence Robertson, fondly known as Larry in our community, or pastor. He has a 34-year connection with our city, and he's going to tell us about some new things that are going on that is planned for the future and what he's done in the last few years for the youth of our community. Welcome. I'm glad to have you with me, Larry.
Yeah, I'm pleased to be here.
Now, what brought you from Texas?
Well, actually, what brought me from Texas to California, and I got drafted. I got drafted from California, and then I was sent here, ultimately, to shoot X-rays. I had completed my X-ray registry training for technologies, and so they brought me here. Those are back in the days when you could be drafted, and so went to Fort Lewis. There's a wonderful church over in Tacoma that I was mentored by, and wonderful organization, and I went to Pacific Lutheran University, and I just felt a calling to come to Kitsap. So
ministry came after you had a start in with the military.
No, actually, I was involved in ministry even while I was shooting X-rays. I was going to school, and so it was my faith was a part of me even then. I had in fact I had a neighbor. My oldest daughter was just a babe in Opal. We just had the one at that time, and
right.
So God sent us here. Just I think it was just meant for us to be here.
He's got a plan for all of us.
He does have a plan.
And you've got some plans. First of all, you're with Emmanuel Apostolic Church.
Correct.
And it has been remodeled, and it looks just great.
Thank you.
So you've enlarged it. You've got a larger congregation. You've got music. You've got everything that you could possibly think of in that capacity. And now our youth is something that you're really concentrating on. So tell us about the Community Development Agency. I know you started that, I think, with some of your other parishioners. And where are we today with that?
Well, it's a 501c3 status, and it's an organization that lends itself to kind of the family approach. We've got emphasis on youth, but this 501c3 will serve youth in terms of wellness, in terms of education, and mentoring and character building, those kinds of things. We have programs such as the Jaguars, who recently was featured in the Bremerton Sun.
Yes.
Did a very outstanding job. Tim Lavin and Dave Nelson and Draper and Bernard and all those guys, those coaches, have done a good job with that team, and all the coaches. And then we have Jeremiah Davis, who has a basketball camp that's this week. Is in progress, and with the team, it's about 80 youth with both of those activities, because we don't turn down youth because it's we don't turn them down in terms of the basketball camp or in terms of track and field, because it's a way that the kids can
I've actually attended one of those championship basketball games. I'll tell you, it's something, and they play like professionals. They take it seriously. They listen to the coach, and they're going to have some great skills to take them through school.
And we've got some kids that have gone on to that have competed down in Oregon this past week, and also they're going on to back east. So we really do have talented kids, and it's just a real tribute to the coaches, but those parents, and to that whole team.
And that family, you brought up once, it was a special program, someone from Kentucky or
Absolutely.
From the South.
Absolutely.
I attended that seminar as well, because you've done some great things that other electeds have learned, other community members, and I know that was, again, the family. our schools,
Yeah.
we teach the kids, but if they don't have that family participation, they still don't get as far as we want them to
You
go.
are pushing my button because, you know, that's got to be part of the equation. Part of the equation has to be that that you can do what you can, you know, speak into the lives of the children, but really we should be advocates for the parents. And you know, in other words, the real leaders, we should encourage the parents, and we should support the family.
Right.
And I think that's a more healthy approach. If we can empower, like that program you were talking about, if we can empower if we can empower parents to learn about education, the education system, and really advocate for their children, and we support that, then I think it's a better protocol than just you having champions in the community going out advocating for the kids. And
That's right.
so I think that's the little caveat that's a part of our program, that always we want to involve those parents.
We this particular year, you had the salad bowl right here in your backyard. And it was great because you had so many of the youth,
Yeah.
the teens.
Yeah.
They were the performers,
Yeah.
they were the leaders,
Yeah.
they were the MCs.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed that. Same good old hot dogs. And
I think we did a little Hawaiian
we
hula
did.
together.
they had us on stage, and no preempting. There was no time
Yeah.
for us to have a show. No, it was fun. We had a hula.
Yeah, it was really good.
So again, that family, because family was very much involved. I've been here at this teen center, and with other things, programs you've had, your little tykes start out before they're in kindergarten. They know the alphabet, they know their numbers. Again, you're giving the kids this early education that all of our schools want and all communities want. You're on the ground doing it. And I think that's why the plans that you have for the future are starting at the very littlest ones and what you're doing for them. I love the people in your program. I love the teens. They're with the Kids at Hope. I think that they say that Kids at Hope pledge, and we're trying to get adults to do the same thing. So that's all part of what's happening here. Now,
let me say this. I'd love to take credit for all that, but I tell you, it's the people that I serve, all of the ones that are over those programs, they make it happen, and we're just so fortunate to have people in these programs that love people and love kids and love what they do. That they have the passion for what they do.
And they do. You've been able to send 2 or 3 students every year to a national conference. And then they come back and kind of teach the teens.
Karen Vargas.
Yep.
A leadership camp. Minnesota and other places they go.
And being a 501c3, you've been able to attribute some of the sponsorships. I know that our Bremerton Housing Authority sponsored some of your kids. I kind of helped sponsor.
Oh, absolutely.
We think that's a great program,
Yeah.
and again, the outreach that you're doing is amazing. It's amazing.
Well, there again, it's the people with the passion, and I'm just privileged to be a part of the family. I always think that it's all of us doing. Like, I love Coffee Oasis. I love the Boys and Girls Club. The Catholics, they've got a new facility, and of course you all are getting ready to do the over across their team in campus. And so I think all of us, the Silverdale Y, East Bremerton Y, all of us, Salvation Army, Larry Iyer, all of us, it's going to take the whole village for us to really accommodate these kids, and that's, I like that spirit, and that you've been really instrumental in helping us to orchestrate what we do so that we can stretch those dollars and stretch those opportunities and manpower and so forth,
and reach out to everyone. I know that a few years ago, your vision was to have something on this side, so that we could, on the west side, the kids always had to travel, take a bus or get transported somewhere else. So you bought this property, collected the funds, and had a vision. And then, what is this vision taking us to? So what are we going to have?
Well, we got this property. Miraculously, the Lord blessed us to be able to purchase that. And we've had a lot of good people along the way that have helped us, Mrs. Hazelwood and others that have helped us, our bank, Kitsap Bank, and has helped us immensely. And that congregation that I serve, oh my God, those people are outstanding. And we got this property because of just what you said. There's such a need on the west side, just like on all parts of our county and city. And so we've gotten this property, and Marvin Williams has just been a godsend. He's contributed funds, he's helped us with architectural drawings, and just the other day, we needed, like, I think it was $183,000 working with the architect. He stepped up, wrote the check.
My goodness.
And so we are accountable, and we go on record that we want to serve the whole community. You know, it's not a proselytizing effort that we going out. You don't even have to have a faith. You can have any faith. It's the whole community is who we want to serve. And we've gone on record to say that's what we want to do, is to serve youth primarily, but we want to serve the family, the seniors, and let this facility not only be for that, but also let the facility be for other 501c3s that may not can afford space. So the Marvin Williams Center is what it's going to be called. And it's about 30, I think the whole thing is about 15 to 17,000 square feet or something like that.
My goodness.
And we went out and took a look at some of the other facilities down in Gig Harbor and was inspired by that. And just inspired by what everyone is doing. But we just want to play team ball with all of the 501c3s. We don't want to try to be the king of the hill. We just want to be in concert, and you've done good with helping us to identify that and to do that, and I think, and I appreciate you for that, because there's so much need.
That need is there.
Oh, all of us, if all of us in our passion will do well.
Well, when you can have a star, now Marvin Williams graduated from Bremerton High School as a star, and it's been about 7 years. And he was drafted right into the Hawks. Yeah. You and Opal had a chance to go down and meet with him at a game. Oh, I went that. Well, Opal, she didn't go. Bless her heart, she didn't go. But I went down, and I sent her pictures, and she was saying, I should have gone to that game. But yeah, he just recently brought me down again, and was able to be there with the New York Knicks, and as well as when Boston was there. But he's a tremendous player. He plays good defense. He's a very good role model. Marvin is a very good role model. He loves kids. He's real polite, and that comes from his granny, and we call her Mother Phillips, and his mother Andrea, and his dad Marvin. See, they're just great people. The whole family. I think the association is tremendous, and we're going to take and kind of step away from this, because we've got someone else that's going to talk more about the finished product and what's going to be done in the programs there. Yes. Having you and even mentioning Marvin Williams just makes this a wonderful program. So we'll be back with some more interesting things, facts and figures. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Growing Bremerton Together with Mayor Patty Lent. We're on location at the Opal Roberts Teen Center in West Bremerton, and we're at the Cafe Connect. With me, I have Clarence Nelson. We just finished a wonderful interview with Bishop Robertson, and we're going to learn a little bit more about the Marvin Williams Center, as well as a little bit about Clarence Nelson. I've known you a long time. Yes. And you've been involved in all kinds of things in our community. Tell our audience a little bit about you. Oh, God, I go back almost 20 years here, and certainly enjoyed my entire stay here. I worked for the Housing Authority in most of that time. However, recently I've been working with the bishop. But yeah, I go back as early as working with the Kitsap Mental Health, and being on that board for quite some time. Spent a lot of time on the Planning Commission, writing that sub-area plan. Oh yeah, that 2004. It was really a great time for me, but yeah, just really have enjoyed my stay here, and I look forward to it. That's great. There's a little history also that in all the time that you've been involved in the community and also with the housing, you privately you love music and you have a recording studio. So one of the things that you've been able to do for some of our youth is allow students to record their music or get that involvement. It's another little spark that gets them interested and keeps them in school.
Oh yeah, I've worked with several, as I would call them, artists around this area, and certainly that's always been something dear to me. I grew up in that particular arena in Memphis, home of the blues.
Absolutely.
And certainly have always liked sharing that side of me. And so it's really been great to see some of these young folks grow, and really, I think we're going to have some stars around Bremerton one of these days.
And you're going to bring that, I think, into this new center. You've just become the executive director of New Life. So you jumped in with both feet, and you're kind of in charge of this new center that's coming forward. So tell us, how big is it going to be?
Oh goodness, I think somebody mentioned it's going to be my Mount Everest, and it's going to be just a great capital project for New Life. The Marvin Williams Youth and Recreation Center is only one phase. The second phase will be a community center, and it's just a huge capital project for us. It's going to span about 18,000 square feet, 2 stories. The community center will be programmed to be a 2-story facility, about 14,000 square feet. And the Marvin Williams will be the youth portion, where we'll have a gym. There will be lots of programs there for people. And I mean, the community will be able to use this building, and really the downtown core, I think, is going to be a destination for kids.
I agree.
And I just really am excited about that.
Now, do you have a date for construction or proposal?
Yeah, when the bishop first approached me about this, he said he wanted to build this big campus, and my first question was, are you really sure you want to do that? Because it's a lot of work, but they had really done a lot of work prior to my coming here, and this thing is really moving fast. We're looking at a groundbreaking as early as late summer, early fall of 2013.
Oh my goodness.
So next year.
Next year.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. I know that Marvin Williams has been very instrumental, kind of helping finance in the background.
Yes.
But you're doing fundraisers as well in the community. And how can people participate in helping fund this, besides grant funding?
Right. One of the highlights of this is being able to work with someone like Marvin. And I will tell the folks out there that we're planning a humongous capital campaign kickoff August 16th here on the site at 7th and Park. It's going to start at 5. We'll actually have Marvin Williams here and his family, and then we've got lots of special events planned while he's here. Some fundraisers, one of them being our golf classic that we're going to be holding at McCormick Woods. So certainly if people are interested in golfing, that's certainly a way they can participate. But we're going to have lots of opportunities for the community to get involved. We're currently having We've had one community forum at the Norm Dix Government Center. We plan on having another this Saturday, the 14th, at 1 o'clock here at the Teen Center, and then we'll have an additional one on the 19th at Emmanuel Church on 6th Street, and that starts at 6:30. So we're actually still taking ideas from the community as we program this building. So yeah.
So all the programs, again, won't just be something that you can take from a book. You're actually going to reach out and say, what would you like to see?
Exactly.
What programs do you want to have here?
Exactly. It was exciting that we were at the Norm Dix just the other evening, and we were still hearing new things.
New ideas.
And so we're looking forward to continuing that. But the big thing here is that we'll have to talk about how Marvin has really sparked this, because he's a big contributor to this, over $1 million in funding for this particular building. And what people will know is that we're at the point where we've raised half of our construction costs. This is probably going to be an $8 million facility, and things are going well. I couldn't have stepped into this at a better time.
And your leadership will carry it through. That's wonderful. I do know, Clarence, that having his name, our youth today look up to sports people, and he's been back here. I think he has a basketball camp every summer.
Yes.
So he already is participating. He's one of our community. He's a graduate of Bremerton High School, and to have his name on this, he has to just feel this is his legacy as well.
He's a very young man to have a legacy.
Yes.
And he'll have a lot of people looking up to him, and I think we could. I mean, he's still the same young man that's very personable. Still talks to the bishop in this yes sir, no sir type of.
Yes.
But yeah, just a very manable young man, and I'm looking forward to working with him. He's going to be back here on the 16th, and we're going to look forward to sitting down with you again.
We're hoping to take and cover that as well, because it makes our audience have a part of it. I do know the Jaguars. The Jaguars are kind of your young basketball players. Does he ever get a chance to autograph things for them so that, again, they have that attachment?
Marvin is very involved in a lot of basketball activities here. Matter of fact, one of the reasons that he's coming back is that he's going to be part of this big 3-on-3 basketball tournament. But one of the things that he does with the Jaguars is he's put on some basketball camps. Matter of fact, I was just looking at some pictures the other day with him dribbling a basketball with a youngster. And so we're looking forward to seeing more of that. One of the exciting things that I think he really likes to do is that we're going to have a fundraiser at one of the bowling lanes where it's going to be bowling with Marvin. It's going to be all about young people. And so at that event, we plan to sign a lot of basketballs and sign a lot of jerseys.
That's great. I know that when you have youth, and this is open to everyone, from the littlest to the biggest.
Right.
They put up those rails so you can actually bowl. He is a draw, and one of the things that Bishop Robertson has assured us is the Teen Center just isn't a faith-based recreation center. Right. It's an activity center on our west side for everyone. It doesn't matter ethnicity, it doesn't matter what age you are, it doesn't matter. It's this community involvement.
Right. What people will start to see when we get into the full phase of this, where we actually open the building, what they'll start to see is that the programs are for everybody. I mean, the community center is going to house an entrepreneurial incubator, kind of like the Junior Achievement Program.
Right.
And we'll have community leaders and businesses working in that. We'll have lots of activities for seniors, but they'll all be in one place. And then we think that the Marvin Williams Youth Center is going to be that safe place where kids can go and they'll have that supervision. We've lost some of those places over time, but West Bremerton couldn't be a better fit.
I agree. We're really building it, new things, new ideas, and having you on board is exciting. Thank you for being with me today.
My pleasure.
And thank you for joining us with Growing Bremerton Together with Mayor Patty Lent.